Tesla just hit an all-time low again. And the panic out there is absolutely real. With the latest news, Elon selling about $3.6 billion worth of Tesla stock. That's gonna bring the stock price down, and a lot of bad sentiment towards Tesla stock. In other words, a buying opportunity for me, going all in. But I get it, guys, this may be your first time, or you may have a lot of investment in Tesla stock and now you see it down more than 50% in a single year, and now you're panicking and you're probably thinking of selling too. But let me tell you guys something. What if I told you by 2030, right, by 2030, things are gonna look a whole lot different. So much different that we're probably gonna look back at this time in 2022, 2023 and say, wow, I can't believe Tesla stock was trading below a valuation of $500 billion. It's really hard to see it when you're not looking that far in the future, but this is what investing is. You invest today to be wealthier in the future. How long in the future? The longer the better. That's how investments work. And that's how Tesla's gonna be in 2030. My prediction, obviously. But the thing is, no one's thinking long term. No one's thinking the horizon of 2030. They're all thinking that today, tomorrow, and the day after. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you guys why holding it out up until 2030 at least is going to be one of the greatest things you've ever done in your life. So enough chit chatting. Let's get down to the video. All I ask return is a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. Here's a Tesla stock price chart prediction, which has everything from sales, revenue, vehicles, and you may notice one thing. It's just vehicles. That's right. In this video, we're only going to look at vehicles. There's no FSD, there's no energy, there's no insurance, none of that. None of that. If you want the full package, everything included, check out this video, the full 2030, everything included stock price video. It's a sheesh video, I'm telling you. I mean, the stock price blows me away. But in this video, we're only going to look at vehicles. That's it. Nothing else. And you'll see how ridiculous Tesla's going to be in the future if they hit these numbers, which I think they will hit these numbers. Let's find out how many vehicles they're going to sell year over year, including 2022. In 2022, I predict they're going to sell about 1.338 million vehicles. How I got that number, I did a video here going through Q4, breaking it down month by month in Q4, using realistic numbers, obviously, and that's how I got this number total for 2022. With 1.338 million vehicles delivered, we get a total revenue of sheesh, look at that. I love all that. Just pops out like that. Of $75 billion and a net income with a 15% margin for the vehicles alone. And we get about $12.5 billion. Obviously, if we include the FSD profit as well, which at this point is at 48%. I know I says vehicles only, but 2022 includes vehicles. We'll do vehicles only from 2023 and onwards. Overall, it's less than my own detailed prediction. It's most likely going to be closer to 80 billion and maybe almost 13 billion for 2022 for the net income and total revenue. But let's just go with this. With a shares outstanding of 3.2 billion and an EPS below everyone's expectation of $4 of $3.88. Sheesh, that's low. Now, moving on to 2023. In 2023, I really believe that they're going to do or deliver about 2.2 million vehicles, but everyone is saying 2 million because of a 2 million run rate coming by end of this year. Let's just say 2 million to stay conservative. We get a total revenue of $100 billion, given the fact that each car gets sold about $50,000. So sheesh, $100 billion by 2023, end of 2023. That's absolutely ridiculous. Net income of about 18%. Only 18% from the 100 billion is $18 billion. Easy maths. That's almost a 50% increase in net income from 2022 to 2023. Still in a recession. That's absolutely ridiculous. Sheesh. Shares outstanding from 2023 and 2030, I kept increasing it by 4% dilution, just in case and to be conservative. Most likely, if a buyback is coming in 2023, which most likely is, it won't be the case. But if Elon keeps selling, you never know. So that's why I said 4% every single year dilution from now all the way to 2030. Making it about almost reaching 4.4 billion in shares outstanding, which is quite a lot. With an EPS in 2023 of $5.41. It should be 6, but because we're not adding FSD, we're getting $5.41, which is still insane. That's really good. Moving on to 2024, I do believe they will grow at 50% year over year by then, because just recently there's some rumors going around that the new Gigafactory is going to be located in Mexico. So we don't have any official confirmation yet, but it's coming, guys. It's coming. It's coming. I've been expecting for a Gigafactory announcement since like September, so it's coming. It's coming sooner than we think. Just hold on there. But with that, we get 3 million vehicles if it's 50%, and we get around $150 million in revenue. Again, if every vehicle gets sold for $50,000, and for a total net income, I increased it to 20%, should be closer to 25%. But for 2024, I left it at 20% just to stay conservative, and we get $30 billion. EPS of 867, which is still amazing. In 2025, I do expect them to grow another 50%, but this is the last year that they're going to grow 50% year over year because the numbers are getting too big and it's getting unsustainable for them to continue the 50% year over year growth. So with the 50% growth year over year from 2024 to 2025, we get 4.5 million vehicles delivered. And with a vehicle, each vehicle being sold at an average of 47,000. That's right, I'm bringing it down a bit because we can see some vehicles probably getting cheaper. Probably the 30,000 vehicle is out by then and is making a little bit of an impact. So I brought the average down to 47,000 per each vehicle, and we get about almost $212 billion, almost reaching $250 billion in revenue, profit margin of 23% off the vehicles, and that gives us almost $49 billion in net income. Sheesh! And an EPS of 13.51, which is literally a triple from where we are now at the end of this year. So sheesh, that's insane. Now, moving on to 2026. In 2026, I reduced 50% to 40% year-over-year growth, and we get 6.3 million vehicles delivered, with an average of each vehicle being sold at $45,000. So we're coming down from 47 to 45 now, and we get about almost $284 billion in total revenue, and a net income almost $71 billion if the net margins are 25% on each vehicle, which I'm hopefully by 2026, if they're doing this amount of volume, it should be a piece of cake. They should be able to do that. EPS is now 1893. Like, that's absolutely insane. In 2027, I still suspect they're gonna grow around 40%, reaching around 8.8 million vehicles sold, with each vehicle average being sold at 42,000. So we're coming down from 45 to 42, and we get about over $370 billion in total revenue, and a net income almost reaching $93 billion, and an EPS of almost 24 bucks per share. Like, sheesh, man, that's absolutely insane. Moving on to 2028, I reduced 40% year over year growth to 30%, and we get 11.4, almost 11.5 million vehicles deliveries, which is absolutely insane. At this time, I do believe we're going to see a lot of the cheap vehicles on the road, highly being manufactured. Plants are up and running. We probably at this point have about like 6 to 7 gigafactories out there. So 11.5 million vehicles sounds, it sounds like a dreamland from now, but then, we never thought that Tesla's going to do around 1.5, 1.4, or 1.3 million vehicles this year, while just 2-3 years ago, they're about to go bankrupt. So yeah, it's crazy what exponential growth really can do. Now, 11.5 million vehicles deliveries with an average selling price of 40,000. Now we're coming down from 40 to 40,000 because we can see the 30,000 Tesla vehicle being produced a whole lot more, and more customers go toward it because it's cheaper. We get a total revenue of almost reaching $459 billion, and a net income still staying at 25%. I do believe that by 2028, the 25% is still a very good net profit. I'm also saying 30%, probably even more than that. I'm just going to keep it at 25% just to keep things simple. And we get a total net income almost reaching $115 billion, which is absolutely insane. EPS, 28 bucks and 32 cents. I mean, yes, you can see the growth kind of slowing down, but nonetheless, still flipping insane. In 2029, I still said 30% growth year over year, and we get almost 15 million vehicles deliveries in 2029. Wouldn't that be a day to see that by 2029, 15 million vehicles being delivered? Sheesh. With an average selling price of each vehicle being 38,000. Yes, I'm saying majority of all the vehicles being delivered or being sold is going to be the cheaper version Tesla model, because it makes sense. If you want to scale this high, you got to make something that's affordable. So with that, we get over $566 billion, surpassing $500 billion in just total revenue. And net income still keeping at 25%. We get almost $142 billion, and an EPS of $33.63, which is just absolutely insane. And it's just insane, man. It's crazy. 2030, I reduced from 30% to 25%, and we get 18.6, just a bit over that, million vehicles deliveries. Now, I know what you guys are saying. You guys are saying that by 2030, they're probably going to do 20 million. In my opinion, I think they're going to miss it for a couple or a few years because nothing is ever perfect and there's a lot of hiccups on the way. Maybe a gigafactory doesn't get built on time. Maybe Shanghai closes again because of COVID or some other stuff. Nobody knows. So 18.6 million sounds a whole lot more realistic in today's world. I could be wrong. It could reach 20 million or it could reach 15 million by 2030. I have no idea, but I am convinced that they could do 18.6 and maybe a year or two after that they could reach 20 million. And then after that it just keeps going above and beyond because they'll have 10 gigafactories all around the world and China won't be a concern anymore, so yeah, it's gonna be good times. But with this amount of deliveries, I give an average selling price of $38,000, keeping it the same from 2029, and we get a total revenue of $708 billion, and a net income, still keeping it at a 25% margin of $177 billion, EPS reaching 40, flip it insane. That's literally more than a 10x from today, well, not today, end of this year, all the way to 2030. That's absolutely insane. Now, let's see what the stock price will be because this is what everybody wants to know. So if you guys are ready to see what the stock price would be, because we're going to figure out the PE, smash that like button, man. What are you doing? All right, let's go. At the recording of this video, Tesla stock price is like below 160 or at 160. I don't flipping know. I don't look at it every single day. That would mean we just went below the 50 PE, which is just absolutely insane. I'm just going to round it up and say 50 PE for 2022, and let's see what we get. So with a 50 PE, if they do 1.338 million vehicles deliveries, and if they report a total year of about $12.4 billion in net income, we get a Tesla stock price with a 50 PE of $194 per share. Now, I know it may not look like it may not seem it. Who knows? It may hit this number, it may not. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. This is the moon, by the way, because by 2030, we're probably going to go by the moon, in the moon. But 50 PE of $194, I guess makes sense. In my opinion, the stock should be around a 75 PE, which is around like $300 per share at the end of Q4. But we're not in that market right now. We're in a bear market. 50 PE of 194. If things get worse, we can see a PE of 45 of 175. And if things keep getting worse, 40 PE. And if things just become broken, a PE of 35, which is, it's hard to see it at 35 PE for Tesla. That's growing. I mean, just look at the numbers. I don't know. Some are saying below 100. That means a PE of 30. I think it was 27, 26, 25. 25 PE. I don't understand. But anyways, I'm going to say a PE of 50 of $194. In 2023, I also gave it a PE of 50 because look, if you're still growing 50% next year and you're proving everybody wrong, a 50 PE should be fair by 2023. And that will give you a stock price of $270 per share and a market cap of $900 billion. The lowest I can see it is 45 PE, which is around 240 end of 2023. So a year from now, a little over a year from now, which is kind of hard to see in my opinion. In 2024, however, I do believe we will be more in a bull market, like 90% bull market, 10% bear market, and I can see everything shooting back up and everything going back to a massive bull market. And I'm saying, guys, the next bull run is gonna be a very violent run. It's going to be an extremely violent run. And I think we can see a PE of 55 actually increasing. Because in my opinion, the market will probably realize and wake up that, wait a minute, this company, not only did they go through a recession and they came out stronger than ever, but they're doing record numbers and, you know, they're going to continue doing record numbers. So the company is worth more and the greed is there. So that's why I put a PE of 55. And with a PE of 55, we get a stock price of $477 per share and a market cap of $1.65 trillion. Sheesh! That's insane. Could be wrong though. May not happen. Let's see what will happen. In 2025, I also put a PE of 50 because we're in a bull market. People are more optimistic and the sentiment is great. We hope that by then Elon is done with Twitter. Maybe he'll have another thing, but hopefully by then we have like probably a new interim CEO or at least a CEO of Twitter. So a lot of bullish news will be coming out. So I put a PE of 50. It could be a PE of 45, but a PE of 50 will give us a stock price of 676 and a PE of 45 could give us a stock price of 608. Nonetheless, both reaching in the 2 trillion mark, which is just amazing. 2026, I get a PE of 45 and we get a stock price of $852 per share, over $3.1 trillion in valuation. Sheesh! In 2027, I gave it a PE of 40. give it a stock price of $9.51 and a stock price of $3.7 trillion. In 2028, I give it a P of $35,991 per share, or reaching over $4 trillion in a market cap, which is just absolutely insane. Just vehicles alone. In 2029, I give it a P of 30, and that will give us a stock price of $1,009 with a market cap over $4.2 trillion. And last but not least, in 2030, I give it a P of 25, which is just ridiculous. I don't think we'll be seeing 25 PE by 2030. It's probably going to be in the 35-40 ranges, but with a 25 PE, we get a stock price of $1,010 and a market cap over $4.4 trillion. This is just vehicles, man. This is just flipping vehicles. You're literally, the stock is 150, 160. You're gonna be 9xing your money with just the vehicle alone. However, though, if you guys want to see the FSD on top of that, I don't think you're ready. Oh wait, what's that? You're ready? Whew, you my man. Or woman. Alright, sheesh! Alright, let's get down to it. So, FSD, I'm just gonna do it one time. As you guys see, every year they're gonna increase it by 2,000. Probably it's gonna be a lot faster than that and a lot more than that, because we can see from 2020, 8,000, 2022, 12.5 or 15,000. They just increased to 15,000. So they 2x within 2 years. I'm saying they're gonna 2x by end of the decade. So I think that's being conservative. Vehicles with FSD is 15%. It's more like close 30, but I'm saying 15% just to stay conservative. Profit margins keep increasing 2% every single year, starting from 2022 at 48% and ending in 2030 of about 62%. Bam! 1,000 is now turned to 1,400. 4.2 trillion valuation has now turned to over 6 trillion, around $1,400 per share, which is absolutely flippin' insane. Without FSD, with FSD. Without FSD, with FSD. So FSD, again, if it could work out, and I think it will work out in the next 3 years or so, it's the big game changer for Tesla. And that's the only time where a lot of investors and financial institutes and all those bears or whatever that call themselves analysts will come out and say that Tesla is no longer a car company or less of a car company than they were before. Here's a chart, as you guys can see, without the FSD, and here's a chart with the FSD. Without the FSD, it's a big S-curve that's probably gonna tail off around 2028, 2029. Unless they continue going 20% year over year, then this will continue a bit longer than this. And here's one with the FSD. It's a bigger S-curve, but with bigger numbers, which pretty much every year going up around $100 per share, which is absolutely flipping insane. But you see, guys, long term for Tesla is absolutely amazing. It's gonna be great. Again, guys, I totally understand. It's hard out there. You seeing your investment drop 50%, 60% is totally hard. I've been through 3 bear markets and I've seen my portfolio down 50, 60% multiple times. You know what I did then? I just bought more, and I will continue to buy Tesla stock on the flipping cheap, even if it goes to $100 per share, which everybody keeps saying. But looking long term, looking at the fundamentals, as we just saw, $1,000 per share by 2030, just vehicles alone, is absolutely madness. Take all this with a grain of salt, but I do believe this could happen, and this will happen. And that's why, folks, I'm going all in into Tesla stock. Every spare cent I got recently, I've just been plowing into Tesla stock, and I will continue to do so until these cheap prices last. Could last till now, could last till 2023. I don't know, but I do know that by end of this decade, we will look back at 2022, 2023 stock prices and say, wow, Tesla stock was trading below $500 billion in market cap. What the heck was going on then? And I always say this to everybody. If Tesla could survive the 2008, 2007 crash where they had no vehicles except the Roadster, which was extremely expensive, and still came alive on top of that, you think that in 2022, 2023 crash, they're not going to survive? What's the excuse now? Competition? Give me a break. And not only that, on top of this, in 2017, 2018, where they almost did go bankrupt, where the survival was in question, where there was mad uncertainty and FUD, a lot more than what it is today, they still pulled through. The only difference is from then till now is Tesla has a bunch of cash, they're making profit every single car they sell, and they're scaling like no other. Yet, everyone's bearish on Tesla because Elon bought on Twitter. Come on, guys. Let's be realistic here. But anyways, guys, this is my point of view, my opinion, what I think about Tesla stock. You guys may agree, may not agree. Comment down below. I want to see what you guys think. But all I do know is that in the long term, things are going to be a whole lot better. And through experience, we're going to be kicking ourselves in the butt in the next 5-10 years on why we didn't buy more at these prices. Again, not financial advice, but through experience and with a company like Tesla, man, there's no question about that. But you know what else there's no question about? Q4 deliveries is gonna be a record. Check it out. Whether you're a bear or a bull, it's a flipping record, whether you like it or not. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Check out some merch, man, and support the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video. See ya!